Hi, everybody, and welcome back for another episode of Queertowne's Queerantine. My name is Mace Kerwick, and joining me, as always, the delectable, the entertaining, the hilarious Laura De La Fuente, and all of those words exactly the same, Javier Ungo.
But in a different order.
In a different order, yeah.
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
How are y'all?
I think so good.
So good.
You're soda?
You are so busy.
You're soda?
I'm soda, and I'm so good.
Oh, you're so good. I was like, oh, you're soda. What does it mean? You're bubbly and excited and have a lot of energy.
48 grams of sugar per can. I'm giving people
Gosh.
food. No, I'm doing well.
Nice. Yeah, Laura, you had some really exciting news that was shared in the papers today.
They were in print.
Mama got press.
Mama got print, press, and COVID.
She did.
I am. Look at that cocktail, Mace.
Ooh.
Oh,
We
what?
switched roles. I
Bougie.
normally have a cocktail.
I know. Butchering it up
Wine,
with the
wine.
beer. Look at us. Cocktail wine.
Cheers,
and beer.
ladies.
I think these are our
Cheers.
Cheers, queers.
Cheers, Chris.
Yes.
About the comments. What you're drinking at home.
What are you drinking? Club soda?
Laura, please continue with your exciting story.
No. All good. A good friend of mine, Kim Turner, got me connected with the Ground Floor Theater when I got showcased because I wanted some studio space to write in. And and Ground Floor Theater bestowed me the designation of their inaugural artist in residence, which is insane.
That's so exciting.
It's not insane. It is very logical.
Oh, well, thank you very much. I'm very humbled by that, and I do take it very seriously, and I hope to represent them well. But also, they are incredible and very funny and very sweet, and a lot of people are using their space to create in COVID-safe ways right now, which is great to see. People still creating art and creating theater in their East Side. The space that is cavernous and huge. I know we've done.
It's a cool space. We had the ColdTownes there. That's all I remember.
Yeah, I had a friend who years ago did
Glitter Ian.
production of some show that had like a 2-story house in there.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
It is at least 2 or 3 stories high. It is it's a huge theater. I've mumbled around it, trying to think of funny things for 5 going on 6 weeks now, and it is a great space, and I'm very grateful to have it and to be able to create there. And I will bring some new stuff that I've written and bring my solo show for 2 days in early 2021. So stay tuned for that. I get to do my show again, which I'm so excited.
So excited!
Oh my gosh! Yes, get back, baby.
Yeah, baby. And at that point too, what I'm doing for the Viacom CBS Showcase 2021 actual title will be put up mid-January.
So it's Viacom. I don't know why.
Viacom CBS, one word.
Viacom.
Oh, is it Viacom? Shoot, I don't know.
I don't know. I'm assuming you went through like the welcome to Viacom.
Yeah, words to say, words not. Yeah, I think Viacom.
That makes more sense than Via. I don't know why I'm over here like Viacom.
Viacom.
I don't know about you guys, but I enjoy a Via 313.
Ooh.
Love a Via 313.
It never gets old.
So
but anyways, yeah. So it's a nice distinction to have. But mid-January, I'll be able to share those sketches. Yay! Very excited.
Very exciting.
Very exciting. So less monumental, but today I woke up because all through the night my cats were doing something very weird, and like normally they sleep through the night, and for a little bit of context, I recently moved, so I'm living alone now, which is kind of interesting to have gone from like having a roommate for like shelter in place to like now like we're still basically sheltering in place without an official order, and I'm home all the time. And anyways, long story short, my cat's like around this picture frame, and I'm like, what is going on? And so I pull it back, and I saw one of their toys, which was this small gray little mouse. And then I realized it wasn't one of their toys. It was an actual mouse. And I freaked out. This is probably like, I don't know, like 7 in the morning. And I'm like, immediately awake. And long story short, I think it is no longer in my house, but I am not 100% certain. And I like left the door open. I put the cats in the bathroom. It was just like, mouse, be gone. But anyway,
so it was a live mouse.
It was a live mouse.
I missed that detail.
Live. It was very stupid because I really put the door open and it was like, let me go further into your place. And I was like, no, don't.
Okay.
So now whenever I pick up anything, I'm like, is there a mouse in here?
Well, listen, let's get into mouse talk because I am being terrorized by, I think, a pack of mice.
What?
Yeah, no.
They travel in packs?
They leave evidence out. They are... I first realized it because I would wake up to large holes in my bananas.
Oh no, Mojave, no.
I know.
That sounds like a metaphor for something. Yeah, he's got holes in his bananas.
Holes in my bananas. Name my memoir. And now they're starting to eat. I think I've talked about this on this show that my boyfriend has become a plant gay in quarantine.
Yes, you have.
So now they're eating the plants, and boyfriend's real pissed. And he's like, "We are calling exterminators." But luckily, we keep forgetting to do that. And then I hear them in the walls in the middle of the night. I wake up to them.
Oh my gosh, you must really have quite a few.
Yeah. The house is real Swiss cheesy. There's like a lot of... I was trying to explain to my boyfriend. I was like, an exterminator is going to come in, but like they're going to investigate how these animals are getting in. And I can tell you why, because I've not done a great job of taking care of this house, and there's holes everywhere. So Mace, this is a lesson for you.
I was going to say, I feel like
a lot of responsibility, and you can't you just can't like ignore it like I have for the better part of a decade.
No, right.
Well, I feel like I have 2 cats, right? And one would think that they spent all night chasing this thing around my place. They did not hurt it. Like the mouse was fine. It was like a cute little like Disney mouse. And my cats were literally so exhausted from the stress of staring at this other creature that they slept the entire day. Truly iconic. It's like you did nothing and you're exhausted. And you just don't know how to kill. And I kind of love that. But also, if there's more mice, okay, we're going to need some behavioral changes.
Yeah.
I'm in a condo on the 3rd floor. Few critters. A neighbor's dog will wander in sometimes, which is adorable because she weighs 3 pounds. But like, I'm okay with being on the 3rd floor and not dealing with little critters. Knock on wood. I feel like I'm asking them now to come in.
Yeah, if you had critters on the 3rd floor, that feels like a big to-do. What below you?
What? You cut out.
I don't know if it's worth going back.
Okay, let's not.
It's fine.
Okay. Well, bananas and holes. I'm not over the holes in the bananas, to be honest. The idea that like, I don't know, they're getting up on the counter,
They got into
bananas
the bread.
aren't on the
They got into Studley's treats, so now they're messing with my stepson, and I'm mad.
Okay.
So
that's not okay.
No, it's not.
Absolutely not.
No. Well, y'all, we have a really fun show planned for everyone at home. We are excited to welcome back to the Queerantine stage Rin Gonzalez, who was last with us in August 2019, which shockingly was last year. I know it might not feel that way.
Wow.
And it is so good to have them back. Rin, are you with us?
Hey!
What an entrance.
Dipping the slow tea.
That was a good entrance.
Oh.
You mastered a Zoom entrance. Not a lot of people have done that in the pandemic.
No.
The kids have been teaching me.
It's a slow sip. This is how I enter. Hi, everybody! And I get into the camera and do a jazz hand.
I enter
Laura's over here with the Kermit the Frog.
Yeah, I am.
I intern with like a fully just like, I'm muted. I'm so sorry. Okay. Is everybody here? That's me. Every Zoom meeting.
Oh my gosh. Hi, Riverside. You're here.
Glad to be here again. I wish I could be with you in person, but this will do.
This will do.
This will do. So for those of you who don't know our very special guest, Rin goes by the Lone Star Diva. They're a bi-gender speaker, educator, and advocate for the LGBTQIA+ community. He's the co-author of Trans Plus, Love, Sex, Romance, and Being With You, a growing up guide for trans and non-binary youth. And he's the operations and programs director at Out Youth, which we all know and love. So welcome back. It is so good to see you.
It's good to see you.
Aww.
I will say, once I noticed, so May sent me the promo for this show tonight, and I approved it. And then after the fact, realized it said that Out Youth was on there. So instead of being able to drink with you, I'm having coffee.
Yes. Yes. I should have not done that. That was my mistake.
It's fine. I mean, I was going to use this mug either way.
There it is.
Yes. Well, coffee is a very understandable thing to be consuming at this time on a Friday for anyone in the queer community.
This late.
All day, every day.
So, 2020.
We have love for Trans Plus in the comments. Read it as an adult and love it so much.
Wow.
Oh, love that.
Thank you, Lawrence.
Oh my gosh. Lindsay, I love that.
Thank you, Lindsay.
Oh, I thought it was somebody I'd planted in the audience. Y'all, that's a legit compliment.
It is. Yeah.
Get some fans.
Take it in.
So 2020 has obviously been the year it's been. What have you been up to this year? What's been the big exciting thing for you these past few months?
Knows that there's a pandemic going on, right?
Yes.
I will say, so the funniest thing that has happened, so I do work at Out Youth. We do virtual drop-in. Very thankful to our community partners and sponsors. We were in a position financially that when we decided that it was important to close for all in-person services, we were able to go virtually overnight. So in virtual drop-in the other day, talking with some youth, and they're always teasing us. Bobby knows how this is. Like, you're so old. What is the funniest thing about being old? And I was like, well, I mean, the most exciting thing that's happened to me in several months is I got a new mattress on Monday. I know.
I want to ask what kind.
What kind?
I got the Sattva mattress. They're based here in Austin. Ooh. You order it online. They make it to order. So I have a custom mattress for not custom mattress prices. And I am not endorsed or sponsored. Just I really like the mattress. I needed.
So what's the great thing about it? Because I went through a mattress purchase earlier this year and I have a little bit of buyer's remorse, TBH.
Oh.
What kind of mattress did you get?
I went with Tuft & Needle. I did one of the mattress in a box things. It was very affordable, which I was all about.
I almost went Tuft & Needle, but what I loved about Sattva was that they don't roll it up. It doesn't come in a box. It comes as a mattress, and these two very burly humans hauled it up the stairs for me.
Oh,
amazing.
Incredible.
I pulled up Sattva to have in a tab for when we end this because I am serious about buying a mattress. SAATVA.
Oh, that was
big
not
fan.
my guess.
Big fan. Though, if you head over to my Instagram at the Lone Star Diva, you will see that the biggest fan of the new mattress in the house is actually my dog, who has made herself comfortable. And I can't take you over there, but she's actually chilled out just right now. Big fan. Big.
Oh, good. A dog endorsement's good. Okay, I'm gonna look up Sattva. Sattva.
How is this spelled? What's the spelling?
SAATVA. Had none of us heard of it either? Okay, I don't know.
No, this is new to me.
I would have attempted and I would have failed at that second A. That's an unexpected A.
So while I have everyone here, before we get further into the show, I'm looking for some fashion advice. This is genuine. This is kind of a bit, but this is also not a bit. I bought a hat, and I don't know.
No.
Come on, New Radicals, put it down.
New Radicals. Don't give up because the dream was easy.
Am I too old for this? Am I too old for this?
No, you're not old. No, you're too young for that.
You're way too young. I mean, the only thing it needs is like the fish hook in it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like there just needs to be like a random fish hook hanging from it.
Yes, with the little feather thing. Yeah.
Little feather, yeah.
The little
I guess
feather
these are in again. I was
lure.
very inspired. I've been listening to a teen playlist on Spotify called Lorem. And I was like, yeah, I'm 17. I was born in 2003. I'm very young and cool.
I mean, the glasses are very, yes. I think
I do like the glasses.
that's going to be
The
made.
glasses are fabulous.
Yeah, the
Thank
glasses
you.
are great. Yeah,
Where's
What
the hat
about-
from?
Where's the hat from?
Yeah.
Urban Outfitters.
Oh, okay.
Ah.
Yeah, it was $14. I guess I'm just wondering, should I keep it?
I see the tag still on. I think it might be 3 no's is what we're saying, but we love you nonetheless.
But also remember that we are sketch comedians.
Yes, true.
Mhm.
So
And you were gonna play
This.
you throw that with the wigs.
Oh, I love all the glasses.
I
think
love
all
those
the
glasses. Those are great.
All of you are like Liz at Jenna's shows in 30 Rock. Oh, the lighting's great. The program's really crisp this time. Okay.
Well-
I can take a hint.
Okay.
Can this be a recurring segment? Listen, I keep buying clothes and I'm like not going anywhere, but I keep buying, like I'm only wearing this Sade shirt because I'm very proud of this
so
purchase.
Good. It is
and
so good.
I have nowhere to wear it.
It's amazing.
Well,
You know what I've missed is going places and having people compliment my shoes.
Mm.
I had to shoot some video
Shoes.
today for Out Youth, all very safe, all masked, all of that's fine. But every single person I interviewed today for these videos was like, I love your boots. Like, thank you. I bought them during the pandemic and no one has said anything about them until now. So
No one
now
has
I'm
seen
wondering
anything
if I
below
should just
this.
like start.
Yep.
I know. I'm starting to think that maybe I need to do my entrances on like staff meetings of just like put on the desk.
I was ready to see the boots. Boots aren't on, Rin?
They are not on.
Okay.
No.
Okay. Next time.
No, listen, fully during this pandemic, I have somebody who works with me. She's like my right-hand person. We work very, very closely together. And in the pandemic, she has announced her pregnancy and just had a baby. And last week, right before, like a day before she went to have the baby, I was like, I have never even seen your baby bump. Like we are just like, we live in this world, in this square. I was like, I've never seen your baby bump. And she sent me a picture and I was like, that's mind boggling. We talk every day.
Right.
weird.
Because I mean, you're not going to carry, the baby all the way up here. It's going to be
100%.
literally at the
Really?
Right
You mean the
here.
baby doesn't just stay right
Mason,
here?
you don't
No.
tear it in the goiter.
No.
Wow. I know I'm young and pretty, but I don't smart.
I didn't laugh at you. You are young.
You know what? You could read, Mace. There's a whole chapter on where babies come from.
Oh, amazing. But then you have to learn how to read and
No.
I keep
no.
telling
Too cute to
the
read.
publisher I
Goody.
want to record the audiobook.
Mm.
You imagine my sassiness teaching an entire generation of trans kids how to be amazingly themselves.
Yes, I can.
yeah, cheers to that.
Yes,
Dude,
cheers.
Can I get a recording of this after so I can send it to the publisher? That'd be great.
It's going to be on YouTube. I
Yeah.
think. Yeah.
I think so. I think that's right.
So,
In that case, hi, Christine.
yeah, exactly. I sat up straighter and
Yeah.
YouTube was the authority
Yes,
I needed in my life. I'm a bottom.
As an
Yeah, that was-
esteemed business professional within the publishing industry, my expertise on the subject matter of books that will be read is second to none.
No, I'm the opposite. I have not gone shopping at all, and I'm like, well, I'll wear the same thing for 3 days straight, but I'm feeling the itch in shoes, and that's how I know I like shoes more than anything else.
Mm.
And I mean that's really the end of the story. And I hate all of my clothes, and they're all old, and I need to get rid of some.
Yeah, when I moved, it was like, I don't need any of this. Let me just take a match to it.
And
Did you
that's
do a big purge?
how you got rid of your old room. You burnt down your room. And
I burned down my room.
That's a Mace story.
This is me dialing in from a very impenetrable cell ward.
Yeah.
No, yikes.
Right.
No. We don't go down that path.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'm sick of my clothes too. That's all I'm trying to say.
Yeah. That's all I have to say about it. I love these overalls though.
I don't even realize you were wearing
See,
overalls.
here's the thing, you can't tell,
those are
but
good.
they're great.
Ooh.
I don't have shoes on.
Wow.
Have we seen you in person in overalls?
No.
Oh, overalls is a
I bought
vibe
them
for you. I
right
like
before
it.
quarantine. I went first from rack to the Madewell rack at Nordstrom Rack, and I bought a coverall. I bought coveralls. I bought overalls. I was ready to go hard and shift, and then quarantine hit. But
yeah, I bought some cute yellow Vans just before Quar.
Oh, nice.
Able to wear in LA, but like, are they Austin shoes? Maybe, but like, what are we gonna do? Like, we're gonna HEB and be like, "Hey, everybody, it's me. Check me out."
Oh man, I went and got my flu shot at HEB. Me and Bonnie said at HEB, and I was like, I don't need to be inside of here. I need to leave. Like, it felt wrong the second I went into it.
Yeah, that curbside pickup is so
Curbside's great. Curbside's so great. But anyway,
so it is Trans Awareness Week, and today is Transgender Remembrance Day. Have y'all been able to do any like digital events today? Because I would normally go to something in person, but I don't know. I feel like I just like missed out on the programming that was going on today. I don't know. Were y'all able to find anything?
So our friends at the Trans Education Network of Texas and BTAC, the Black Trans Advocacy Coalition, did a virtual event on Facebook Live that was very good.
Amazing.
It's should be up and available to view, though I'm not sure whose Facebook page that lives on. But it was very touching, very, very well done.
Nice. Yeah, I in college on Mizzou's campus, there's a little chapel, and so they would always do a candlelit vigil there, which was always very moving. And I don't know, just like had a lot of solidarity built into it. And I think like solidarity is like absolutely something that I like am not experiencing this year, just because it's all through a digital space. But I will check that out. That sounds really good and moving.
It does.
Awesome. But
I'm very curious
to do it in person, but
I know.
Here we are.
Yeah.
I'm very curious about what the virtual drop-in space is like.
For Out
yeah. For those who don't know, like Out Youth has like drop-in hours, and normally at the house, at the actual Out Youth like brick and mortar center, basically a space where the youth can come hang out and be in a safe space and have access to resources. So I'm curious about like what the virtual space looks like.
So it all happens via Zoom. Anyone ages 12 to 18, regardless of their identity, can join. All that info is on the Out Youth website. But the drawback, of course, is that we cannot be in person. The benefits that we've seen, youth from all over the world can join Out Youth now. We've had youth join from as far away as Europe.
Whoa.
Though those poor kids had to join the drop-in center at like 1 a.m.
Yeah.
That was very interesting. Which was also great for our youth who live here in Texas, because they got to learn about the practicalness of time zones and what that actually means. It is all youth-led now. So we have a team of youth advocates who are leaders in the space. So they each take a night of the week and present some kind of unique program. As adults, the weirdest part is that they are so polite to one another. They don't talk over one another. There's not a lot of yelling. They all take turns. There's a mute button if I ever need it. So we're trying to figure out how to take all of that from the virtual space and apply it to the in-person space. But the weirdest part is we've got so many new youth who have joined during the pandemic who have no idea even what the house looks like.
Yeah.
Oh.
So one of the things we've been considering is a virtual tour, which I've been pushing back against because we converted the house into our queer and trans community closet, which is where folks who are LGBTQIA+, regardless of their age, can access things like H-E-B gift cards, dry goods, canned goods, produce, bus passes, gender affirming items, makeup kits, art kits, STEM kits, all sorts of stuff. So it doesn't look like it usually does.
Yeah, that's awesome though. That's so cool. I hadn't even thought about people from outside of Texas.
That is so cool.
That's very cool.
How big are these drop-in meetings? How many people are dropping in?
The average is 12 and a half.
Yeah. That is awesome.
That one kid that tunes in but only has their microphone on. No. 12,
Right.
12, 13, 14. It really depends on the day and what the program is. My favorite thing as an adult is we have Joan from Planned Parenthood come in once a month, and she does Hey at Out Youth, which is health education for youth. So the youth get to learn sex ed because, as you may have heard, the State Board of Education has just voted to update the sexual health curriculum in Texas so that they are learning stuff that folks were learning in the 1800s, meaning that there is no mention of consent anywhere in the curriculum and no mention of LGBTQIA+ anything. So we're bringing Joan in, and the funniest thing is most of the youth either already know what Joan is presenting or are vaguely familiar with it. And then all of the adults on those drop-ins just sit there like, what? I had no idea. Why didn't I ever learn this? I'm 35 years old. How come nobody ever told? Like,
Oh, I remember because I obviously did lots of sex education back then, and I think just having grown up in Texas, I was like, can we talk about these things? Stop it. Put that dildo down. These are children. It was just like, no, exactly. I think this is probably a good thing.
Yeah, it's wild because I grew up here in Texas and I just had so much shame and fear that was taught to me. And when I heard that the State Board of Education was going to be potentially overhauling, it was like, oh, God, I don't want to hold my breath that will actually go through because the people who are on the board, it's just they continually go for like the same misinformation and religion first. And I just think it's amazing, all this is to say, that you're bringing in a subject matter expert to just kind of educate these kids or adults, whoever's listening, because we all deserve to have knowledge.
Yes.
Yeah. The other thing that made me remember my time at Out Youth was a couple of times. Once I was a social worker, I filled in to run the support group there a couple of times, and it was the best. It was the easiest because like we would sit down, we'd do our little check-ins, and then the youth would just go, and I would just like sit back, and every once in a while I'd be like, "That's interesting. I wonder what so-and-so's think," and then they just keep going, and I was like, "Yeah," because when you're young and queer, you have to emotionally mature at a young age, and they learn skills that other people don't learn, and they can do this. It was great.
So what kind of stuff is Out Youth providing with like Thanksgiving or I don't know, the other holidays that are coming up in December?
So many years ago, dedicated volunteers started, well, I mean, Hobby might remember this. We always did some sort of giving thanks dinner. It usually happened on a Sunday night during drop-in. We ended up moving that to Thanksgiving Day because we realized that many people in the community didn't have a place to go. So for, gosh, I don't know, 5 years? I should go back and look. We've done dinner at the actual Out Youth house and lay out a long table and people gather and eat and chat. Obviously not safe to do this year. So we are doing Giving Thanks dinner to go. So we're gonna cook, we start cooking on Monday, and then everything's gonna be prepackaged in to-go containers, and folks will pick up between noon and 2 on Thanksgiving Day. If there is anyone listening that either would like to request a meal or knows of someone who might benefit from something like that, you can go to the Out Youth website. Under the COVID-19 section, there is a Q&T, Queer and Trans Community Closet page. The link at the very top is the order form for the dinner. If you can't find it, again, I'm at the Lone Star Diva on all the things, so you can reach out and point you in the right direction.
Fabulous.
Awesome.
And then for Christmas time, holiday time, we are still trying to figure out what we want to do there, because there's like 7 different ideas on the table. One of the things that I'm really hoping that we will do is sponsor a family or sponsor a youth. But more info on that would be going up once we actually decide what we're going to do. I think the decision was, let's get through making all of these meals first and then figure out what we want to do about it.
Are there volunteer opportunities for queer adults to get involved with Out Youth right now?
Not right now, because most of what we would need help with would need to be done in person. One of the things that I might have a need for in January, we have adult volunteers who help staff the virtual drop-in center. And what that looks like is signing into the Zoom call and keeping an eye on everything. I think my volunteers would like to maybe not have to keep doing Zoom calls. I don't know. I don't want to put words in their mouth, but that might be an option in the near future. We are also very excited to be launching a Discord server for the youth that will be open 24/7. So youth all over the world, again, can access that and build community wherever they're at. We will need adult volunteers to help moderate that because teenagers.
That sounds
And
like a task.
24/7 access.
Well, thankfully, there's these things on the Discord called bots that I can just program to like shut down conversation. I was like, I wish I could just program like a robot that drives around Out Youth when we're back in person. That's like, no talking about that. No talking about that. Stop touching each other. Oh my gosh, you guys, that is one thing I miss. Going out in the backyard. I probably shouldn't say this in something that's recorded, but I'll go out in the backyard and when youth get to be a little cuddly in the space, my favorite thing is to go and surprise them by yelling, "No arousing each other." And they separate so fast. It's the closest I've ever felt to being biblical. Just as they
no arousing each other. Oh, that's so good. Well, if and when there are opportunities for adult volunteers to get involved, I will keep an eye on Lone Star Diva.
I'd love that. One of the things that I will say, we're not really set up for it right now, but when we were in person, if there's anyone out there that would like to pitch an idea, we're always looking for adults to come in and present on something that is unique to their experience and skill set. So like Joan from Planned Parenthood comes in, teach about sex ed. We've got folks from Austin Batcave that come in and teach. This semester, they are teaching our youth how to use their voice to affect political and social change, because the youth are often told that they don't have a voice and they shouldn't have a say and their ideas don't matter. And what we attempt to teach them is, y'all, if you literally show up at a city council meeting or a school board meeting, everyone is going to listen to you because no one your age shows up to those things. So you actually have the most power in the room, and their minds just go. So that's been really fun to watch this semester, them figure out how to make adults listen to them. But
An important skill.
A skill I wish
improv via Zoom might be hilarious.
Yes, improv. Always happy to bring characters if needed.
Writing.
First time I ever did improv, or first time I was ever exposed to improv was a guest presenter at Out Youth who was teaching the youth, and I was an adult that participated, and I was like, this seems like fun.
Wow.
Yeah.
Out Youth was a gateway to improv.
It's true.
I didn't
know that, Javi.
Yeah.
I don't know how we're going to message that.
Gosh,
Javi.
I love that for you. What a great improv origin story. So, y'all, we've prepared some fun pop culture topics to talk about. 23 minutes. Do we want to see what we can get through?
Let's do it.
Cool. Let me, y'all know I'm not good at tech, but I'm going to do what I can to pull this up. All right. And can we see this? Is this happening?
We can see it.
It's happened.
Great. This is the show, y'all. In case you didn't know, you are watching Queerantine.
33 minutes into the show. Welcome to Queerantine.
For those of you who are just tuning in, you're listening to Queerantine, ColdTowne TV. Okay, so Laura, do you take us away with this one?
I would love to. So you may or may not know, but a lesbian Christmas rom-com is coming out on November 25th, which happens to be my birthday because lesbian gods love me right now. So they've said, yes, we will bestow this upon you on your day. But it's called Happiest Season, co-written by Clea Duvall and Mary Holland, starring Mackenzie Davis and Kristen Stewart. And the reviews are in. It actually might be good. Which is surprising. Who knew that a lesbian rom-com was good?
Do either of them die at the end?
I know. Is there... Right.
We've talked many times on this show about how much bad queer films we've had to live through in our lifetimes.
Yes. I will never forget earlier this year when I tweeted something about the Eating Out franchise.
Oh my God.
Created it, responded to my tweet, and actually retweeted me. I was like, oh no, I'm like too in the weeds with this. Pull back.
But yes, so Happy Season getting good reviews, which lesbians and queers are thrilled. I pulled up two paragraphs from a review because I think you can feel the surprise and the shock, and I'll read through them quickly. Okay, here we go. This is by, I think his name was Stephen Cunningham. It was. By putting the focus more on family than on hiding Abby and Harper's romance, that is Mackenzie Davis and Kristen Stewart. The gun in the first, I think that's a metaphor. The gun in the first act has to go off in the third act. Happy Season manages to be light and frothy while still having some surprising depth. The movie still managed to get some big laughs from Holland, as well as Dan Levy from Schitt's Creek, who plays Abby's gay friend John. Because you can't have a lesbian movie without gay friend John going like this the whole time. Oh, what? Have they seen a lesbian before? All right. It seems clearly Duvall and Holland didn't want to make a story about how it's wacky to pretend to be closeted, but instead wanted to tell a story about not hiding who you are in any way, not just your sexuality. Happy Season is not the movie I expected, and I'm grateful for that, because the movie I expected would not have been as good. Like she showed with her previous feature, The Intervention, I didn't see it, Duvall has a knack for thoughtful ensemble dramas that don't lose sight of their comic beats or deep emotional moments. Happy Season doesn't seek to upend the holiday drama, but it uses a simple premise to get to a much richer story about the power of acceptance that we all need. I can't believe that this is a good review.
Yeah, this is very compelling.
It is compelling. I'm excited for it. I love that the buzz is good right now. And then we will see what happens come next Wednesday
once we watch it. Yeah,
right. But I mean, I'm generally excited for it.
I must say, this is the first movie that I will have seen Mary Steenburgen in since I saw her put a tortilla chip in her mouth in LA this past March.
Okay. Okay, wait.
Okay.
I was ready for like a Back to the Future Part 3, like
Thank
a
you.
silly reference.
I was like, what movie does she eat?
I know. I was like,
chip
Steve. Yes, me too. I went, oh.
No, she was there with Ted Danson, and they were eating on the little outdoor area of that restaurant. And I happened to walk by right as she put a crispy tortilla chip in her mouth, and I heard the crunch. That's how.
Wow. And to think you couldn't get anywhere near that close now.
No.
Hear the crunch. That's
if you hear a crunch, you're too close.
So we don't have a slide for this, but I do just want to quickly throw out there, Dolly Parton has a new Christmas movie starring Christine Baranski that drops on Netflix Sunday, and it's a musical called Christmas on the Square. I'm thinking about doing a Netflix watch party. So if anybody, and I mean anybody, wants to join in on that,
I do.
Slide into my Instagram DMs at Mace Kerwick, because I think I'm going to do that Sunday evening. I think it sounds awful. This movie, Happiest Season, could be good. Christmas on the Square is probably going to be terrible, and I'm so excited for it.
Hey, Dolly was busy inventing the vaccine. I think that's what I gathered.
Gonna bring it up.
She was very busy.
She's very busy. Yeah.
I love it. I just watched the documentary, and I was like, she's a good businesswoman. The documentary is very good. The one that's on Netflix right now. And then learning that she invested in the vaccine, I was like, of course she fucking did. She's a good business person. Of course she did.
I stand the right person.
Are we aware that Dolly has a new Christmas album out this year?
Whoa.
Yeah. So once I found out that Dolly is single-handedly saving the world by inventing a vaccine for COVID, I decided to stream only exclusively Dolly Parton on Spotify, to which they informed me a Holly Dolly Christmas 2020 is
How did that
out now.
Exist?
It is a bop. The whole thing. Just bop after bop after bop.
If that album was Hard Candy Christmas 12 times in a row, it would be my favorite Christmas album.
You've talked about this song. We're good friends, Bobby. You've talked about
this song. That song.
I know you do.
So also of news this week is People Magazine announced their sexiest man alive. And I think Joy Behar of The View had the best take. People Magazine is like really rooted in like a Western-centric idea of beauty standards, and it's really not incorporating a more holistic analysis of body types and what's attractive. And I think she went on to talk about like a sumo wrestler and how that's sexy in their culture, but not here. And then she concludes by saying, but yes, I do find Michael B. Jordan to be very aesthetically pleasing.
Oh man.
It's so good.
He's so hot, y'all. He's so hot, and yes.
What a bounce back from last year. Wasn't it Blake Shelton last year?
Yeah.
Yeah. Question.
Mama, come on.
I mean,
Instead of sexy?
I will tell you, Michael B. Jordan, great Instagram follow. He's gotten me interested in coaching, which really takes a lot. Because like Coach handbags, what? But he's their male spokesmodel. So I don't know what got going on credit wise, but I know about but other guys who made the list include Dan Levy of Happiest Season, Rock. And I just feel like Dan Levy makes so much sense. Everybody on all the dating apps is like,
could have been sexy. He's now A-list enough with Schitt's Creek having all of its accolades. He could have been sexiest. Yeah. That would have made sense, honestly.
And I will say, I did not know he's 37. That was very warming to find out. Okay, cool. You're not like, in your 20s having all this wild success. He's a little older. But The Rock is like always in People Magazine's list of sexiest men alive.
No, I love The Rock.
He was on the cover, I think, in 2016. And I just feel like, look, People Magazine, like there's other sexy men out there.
He should retire. He should retire from the mantle. Listen, he's a 10-time WWE champion. Don't ask me how I know that, but he's been in this magazine like just as many times, and like in wrestling, he should retire.
man.
What I find really interesting about this is it's very obvious that this picture of the rock is at least a year old, and it looks like they caught Dan just taking out the recycling during the pandemic.
Yeah, that's a lot of wine
that is
bottles.
A recent picture of Dan Levy.
Yeah.
Yes. It's probably a relatable picture, TBH. I don't know if anybody else is exploring natural wines right now, but I am. And, I recommend it.
What's a natural wine? Are you making wine at home?
Oh, God, no.
Okay. I was like, is this some sort of sourdough nonsense?
It's like sort of like a kombucha, but it's wine. It's like the trend, I guess. And so few trends that I can partake in. Need I do a reminder?
Mace,
please don't.
tell me what you're talking.
Mace, I promise I'm not
We've
trying
all
to
suffered enough.
I'm not trying to one up you, but I have joined my first wine club in Quar, and it's a natural wine club.
How's it going?
So great. Oh, it's through Bento. So when you go pick up your wines, they have like these little like delicious vegetarian like appetizers for you to enjoy with like a couple of samples of wine, and then you pick up your bottles and you go. It's really, really lovely.
I went into Bento after I voted, and I was like major hangry. And I think if I hadn't been, I would have grabbed some of their wine. They said that that's how they've kept their business alive throughout is by adding in this like really amazing curated wine selection, and it looked so good.
It's cool. It's good.
Is it still like 14% ABV? Like, is it still standard potency of wine? Given that it's
Thank you, Laura, with the hard-hitting, important questions.
It's essentially, they call it low intervention wine.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
So, I mean, it's wine. It's like they make wine, but there's just like not a lot of like chemicals added to it. And some of them are really interesting because they like, you'll pour it and there's just like sediment at the bottom or like at the bottom of the bottle.
Yeah.
It makes it real delicious. And there's a lot of like orange wines, which is essentially, here I go, with like white wine. You take white wine grapes and they take the skin off, and that's how you make white wine. But with orange wine, it's white wine grapes, but they leave the skin on. And so it's like not a very common kind of wine. And orange wines are real good.
Yeah. All right.
So I got to be honest with you.
We lost Tina. Y'all are dead.
Into Cameron Diaz's new wine called Avonlea. You can't buy it in Austin yet, but it will absolutely pay however the fuck much I can, because Cameron Diaz is very vocal about the fact that she did not know anything about wine before she decided to brand, and that is someone
that is queer culture.
That's always a good idea.
Yeah. I'm wealthy.
Starting or investing in companies that you don't know anything about.
Meanwhile, Mr. Johnson here, Dwayne Johnson, go to his Instagram and look at the amount of work that he put into his tequila. He flew down to Jalisco. He touched all of the I forget what plant tequila.
Agave.
Agave, thank you. He touched all the agave plants. He taste tested it all. And it's delicious tequila.
Good on you for bringing it back to the slideshow, which I guess we should work our way through. Okay, so this is interesting to me. Steve Kornacki was also mentioned, and I just love this description of him. Never before have khakis and a striped tie gotten so many hot under the Oxford collar. The MSNBC journalist's tireless coverage tracking the long post-election day vote tallying process earned him the title of chart throb, which celebrity fans from Chrissy Teigen to Leslie Jones, and even caused a significant khaki sales.
Incredible.
My dad also posted on Facebook some article talking about how everyone's attracted to Steve Kornacki. Data nerds unite.
Cute.
Correct. Steve is 110% my type, which I'm assuming by saying 110%, that's immediately a turnoff to Steve Kornacki, because that's impossible. I did happen to, during the election, make friends with whomever is running the @Daddy Kornacki Instagram account.
Oh, amazing.
So if you're listening at Daddy Kornacki on Instagram, hey girl, hey.
Yeah, something that I love about Steve is that he just has this like very I don't know, like daddy energy, but it's like kind of like seatbelt daddy energy. Like make sure you wear your seatbelt. Do you have sunblock on? It feels affirming in like a good way.
Mm-hmm. Can cook, knows about natural wines, knows about a good Merlot, knows about German
Is
sweet
not
wines.
afraid of
And
nice
apparently he
things.
is gay.
Yes,
So he's
Yes.
yes.
Yes. So
And partnered, right?
we got Steve, our sexiest men alive. We got some representation, y'all.
I love it.
12 of 12.
12 of 12, yeah.
Just squeaked in there.
I just barely. We have 8 minutes.
He can do it.
This
Oh,
is
of course
me.
he can.
Listen, I've never been like a housewives gay, like a real housewives gay. I've just never taken that leap. Much like,
gosh, welcome to the club.
no, I know. Much like Game of Thrones, I was like, there's just too much to catch up on. I can't just jump in right now. But I found out there's like a new franchise, and I was like, all right, I'll jump in. And so I'm coming to it with like very fresh eyes, but also like I think I'm at a point in quarantine where like I think up until this point I was like, I gotta watch the Criterion channel, I gotta watch good prestige television, and I've fully reached like I just need to watch some shitty television.
Javi, you know that it was like day one. I was like, what garbage can I stream?
No, it took me this long. But I guess what's notable about the season is that there's like the first gay child. I said this before the show.
Yeah.
One of these women has a gay son, and it's very funny because they introduce him in the episode and they're like, he's taking a semester off from college. And I was like, no, he's not. He found out his mom is going to be on the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, and mama came to get her coin. Like, she is...
Yes.
No, and his name is Brooks. He's great. I couldn't find a picture of him, but he's instantly iconic because he is super laid back and very chill, clearly super, super privileged, but very excited to watch his journey on this season.
Yeah.
Wait, so which one of these said the now infamous quote of "You smell like hospital"?
That would be Mary. She is the second from the right.
Okay.
She was just very insistent because am I getting that right? No, yes, it is Mary. Keith and I were just talking about how like we're just starting to learn their names. Jen, who's third from the left, her aunt was in the hospital with some complications and had to have both of her legs amputated. And then she went to meet Mary at a lunch, and Mary could not be around Jen because Jen smelled like hospital, and that brings back a lot of traumatic memories from her from the one time she was in a hospital for a pretty minor medical procedure. So all of that is to say, I'm like 100% in for this season.
Yeah. As a Beverly Hills devotee, welcome.
I'm excited.
I love this shit. I cannot emphasize enough how amazing this show is. It's so deranged. All of these women live on like planet Zuron, and they're on Earth. It's just fantastic.
I've never touched. I mean, we've watched 6 seasons of Grey's Anatomy in a month, having never watched the show ever before. But that is my like trashy tea, and we've been loving it ever since. But that I have never watched an episode of Real Housewives. Although the podcast I listen to religiously, Law School Teresa's, will talk about it all the time. So I feel like I know like RONI is an abbreviation, and then they will usually. I did know about You Smell Like Hospital because of that. But I'm glad that you two have been enjoying this.
Yes.
Yeah. The Denise Richards drama on this past season of Beverly Hills.
Okay.
You have anything else? Oh, we do.
Oh, we have to talk about
this. Okay, so this kind of pisses me off. So Harry Styles had a gorgeous photo shoot in Vogue, and people like Candace Owens are just flipping out over this. They're like, men must be masked. You must be masked. You must not show emotion. It's this whole like bullshit thing about like the feminization of young boys. And as someone who was an extremely femme boy, I requested Barbies for kindergarten Christmas. Kindergarten Christmas, you know. Christmas in kindergarten. I was just so mad. I couldn't think right. But no, it's just upsetting to me. Let your children explore whatever they want to explore. Let adults, whoever the fuck it is, why do you have to have an opinion? Stop having so much hate in your heart. I don't know where to go with this, but he looks great. I love the look. Wish my hair could look that great. Shit.
All of our hair could look that great if we were getting a photo shoot in Vogue.
Probably.
Well,
yeah.
not me, but you know what I mean.
It's been like a minute, because I think the pictures came out and I was like we're over this, right? Like we got Lil Nas X, we had Miss Thang from Pose. I was like, we're past this, right? Like no one's gonna have a problem with this. And then like it like turned into the shitstorm, and I was like, really? We're still here? All right. But
I don't know.
Yeah.
Have they come out as queer in a way, or they just like? I mean, not that two different things, representation and queerness, but still.
I don't think so.
I don't think so. But hasn't also not like explicitly like denied a queer identity. Sure. I think when asked, I think it's kind of
simply gender expression. So
yeah. And like, I mean, it's not. I don't think it's new for Harry Styles. Like he's kind of had some. She likes clothes. She plays with lots of clothes and lots of
She has money. Yeah, she has so much money.
And just the playfulness, I think, is something that I personally miss in my life right now. I feel like I'm leading a very practical existence in many ways, which is why I bought that hat.
See, what you need to do is go take that hat back and buy that chunky gold chain belt.
Honestly, yes. I don't think I have the confidence for that, though.
It looks like it goes on top of a loafer.
Oh my God, it does.
Yeah, it looks great.
I gotta say too, like just like looking at all of the, and I was not like a Directioner, but just looking at all the One Direction boys and what has happened to them post career. I mean, it is Harry Styles' like coolness factor is like miles above the rest of them.
Gosh, yeah, he's amazing. Like, what is it, like Niall and Zayn and who else?
The other ones?
He just left those twinks in the dust and was like, I'm gonna be like fucking cool as shit. Like, check it out. It's great.
Yeah, he's doing so good. Well, y'all, we are nearing the end of our time for this episode.
Gosh, that flew by.
Great chatting with y'all.
I had such a good time.
This was so fun.
Me too.
Thank you for being on the show.
For joining us.
Of course.
Thank you so much for coming.
This
was a wonderful way to spend my Friday night.
Aw. Well, it was a joy to have you here.
Now you get to put whatever you want in that mug.
I know.
That is exactly what is happening next.
I feel like that mug's kind of bottomless. I feel like you've just been sipping endlessly.
You don't see what's out of frame, Mace. And can I have my business back, please?
I was jealous because I'm empty.
Hey. Well, everybody at home, thank you for tuning in to another episode.
Thank you, everybody in the chat land.
There is a very special episode of Protexter's Playhouse because it is Adam Protexter's birthday.
Happy birthday, Adam!
I hope you have an amazing set after this. And everybody else, enjoy some time off next week. Bye, y'all.
Bye, everybody.